Rabo Direct, your specialist savings bank, keeping your savings sharp.
Hello, good evening, welcome along, it's Friday, and look who we've got on the show. Only actor Karl wearing an awesome pair of ears. And look, Greg's pitched in and he's wearing his fake chin. Well, Karl's going to be talking movies tonight, both proper movies, like the new Star Trek one.
Nobody knows the rules better than you, but there has got to be an exception.
None. Such action violates the Prime Directive.
Shut up, Spock. We're trying to save you, damn it.
And also not so proper like the ones we've created in homage to this month's 48-hour film festival.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Jane. Isn't it a lovely day in the City of Sails?
Was it lovely today? It was a bit wet, actually. May's also New Zealand Music Month, and Dean Butler's got a little something for us too.
Later in the show, I'll be talking with a New Zealand music legend from back in the day, but can you name who he is? Can you give us a clue, Tim?
That's all we got out of him in the end. Plus, remember, we introduced you to a rally granny a week or so back. She had a big dream. We heard from man of the car. Not just any old car. Have a look at this.
We did the land speed record in this car last October.
Really?
So we had this up
fast?
383 kilometres an hour.
Oh, goodness.
So reasonably quickly.
That's a bit racy, isn't it? But it is Friday night, 7 sharp.
The amount of times I say to guests, come in here and bring your own ears, and you're the only one who's done it, so thank goodness for that.
Well, thank you for having me, and let me just assure you, I'm going to take this interview very seriously.
We can tell that right from the get-go. Look, you're a big deal. You're a New Zealand movie star who's not only in a big franchise, you're in the second one, and it's going absolute gangbusters. Having said that, a lot of people would assume, oh, he lives in Hollywood, he does a Hollywood thing. You don't, though. You live here, don't you?
That's right, I do. I just live down the road up in Herne Bay there, and have a great support network. Wife, kids at home. How are you guys? 5 Loaves Coffee in Herne Bay, the best coffee in town. And Brian, shout out to Brian at Nike Britomart for all your sporting supplies. That's a plug.
And believe it or not, we've got the ads coming up after we finish the interview with Karl. But we're starting early, and we're going to have a look at Karl's work. Let's have a look at Karl's work. Roll it.
Revealed to the indigenous species.
Spock, nobody knows the rules better than you, but there has got to be an exception.
None. Such action violates the Prime Directive.
Shut up, Spock. We're trying to save you, damn it.
Doctor, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Spock, we're talking about your life!
The rule cannot be broken.
Spock! Try to get him back online.
90 seconds to detonations.
Spock were here and I were there. What would he do?
Is it true you made Leonard Nimoy cry?
Yeah, I did actually. I think that there was probably elements of my performance that reminded him of the late, great DeForest Kelley. So
Who was the first
and I was
Bones,
touched. I'm
right?
going to take these off.
Dr. Bones?
Shall I? Yeah.
Up to you.
Yeah, no, and that was touching. I mean, you know, that was probably, you know, the most wonderful compliment that I think that I've ever had.
Yeah, bloody hell.
I've actually got to make a confession right here and right now.
Also, I've been looking forward to this.
What a bang-up geezer Karl is, because I did an interview with Karl about 2 weeks ago. Took an hour and a half of his time, did a really good interview. It was great. Then I forgot to have it saved in the system. Needless to say, I was about as popular as a wet fart in a wedding dress. But Karl, because he's a bang-up geezer, came in and was going to have a talk with us anyway, which is really nice. Thank you very much.
Look, I took one look at you and I said, these guys are professionals.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I was right.
Quite deceptive, eh?
Yeah.
Speaking of the new film, how's it going? How's it tracking? It opened here, first place anywhere?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure where it's opened first, but let me just say the movie is phenomenal. And, you know, from judging by the early reviews, it's going to go down gangbusters.
Oh, hey, I was going to ask you about that, because I was reading reviews. Guardian, Variety, Empire Magazine all gave it great reviews. Do you read them?
Yeah, sure. I think it's interesting to see the feedback and see how it lands. And, you know, quite often, you know, unfortunately, you know, people do get influenced by them one way or the other.
A lot of people saying as well that it's actually... I mean, the first film did very, very well. A lot of people think this is even better. The relationship stuff and the humour stuff as well is even better than the first one.
Yeah, well, you know, if the first film was about establishing these characters, this film is about, you know, deepening those relationships. And, you know, there's more action, there's more humour, more suspense, the stakes are raised. And, you know, we have a good time. And I think you can see that on the screen.
And it's not just for fans either. though, I've never been a Star Trek fan, but I saw the first one, the
Yeah.
first remake one. Loved it, so definitely.
Can you do the Vulcan thing?
I can. I taught myself to do that.
Oh, that's
yeah,
good. That's pretty
not
good.
bad. Not too bad.
That's high.
Phew,
Goodbye.
That's big praise. I wanted to ask you: have you ever taken part in a 48-hour film festival? Because that's on later this month.
No, I haven't, but that sounds like a lot of fun. Have you guys got some films to show us?
Yeah, we
Thanks
do.
for the segue,
they called
Karl.
us. That was very good.
I'm not gunning for your job or anything, mate, but, you know.
I've set the bar quite low, to be honest.
The guys that put the whole 48-hour film festival together called us and asked for a bit of help because there aren't that many teams that have been putting their hand up for it this year. So we put Greg Stubbings and Dean Butler on the case, and they then challenged each other to an 8-hour film festival. They made a film of 1 minute duration. There are certain rules.
Auckland versus Christchurch, right?
Auckland versus Christchurch, Dean in Auckland and Greg in Christchurch. Certain rules, there's a line of dialogue they have to use. In Auckland it was City of Sails, in Christchurch Garden City. They had to Shanghai a celeb into their little film and they had to use a city icon. Dean will kick us off. His genre is horror and the title of the film is Toast. Have a look.
Right.
No more burnt toast for me. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Jane. Isn't it a lovely day in the City of Sails?
Yeah, it is, but I haven't got time for this, mate. Bye. What the? Where's my... Come on. What is going on? Oh, darling, please believe me. Hello? Honey, is that you?
Didn't see that coming, did you? I'm going to pass it over to you, Karl, and ask you to be our judge. What do you reckon?
I quite
you know
like
more
that.
about filmmaking than all the rest of us put
I
together.
quite like that. It had humour, it had a bit of drama, a bit of suspense.
Did you spot the Auckland icon?
Jackie Brown.
She was a celebrity guest. You could see the Sky Tower burnt into the toast.
Oh, is that what it was? I couldn't make... I thought it
wondering
was
what that
Jesus.
was.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it out.
Pretty impressive start from Auckland.
Yep, let's have a look at Greg Stubbings in Christchurch now. His line of dialogue, The Garden City. His genre was sci-fi and the title of the film, High Beam. And knowing Greg, this ought to be good.
Was that an earthquake?
That wasn't an earthquake. That was a giant robot army. The robots are back. It's only a matter of time before they're in the garden.
Set. Tea.
There's no time for tea, long-term girlfriend Ellie Pugh from the news. I need my gun and I need my armour.
OK.
Bloody legal highs.
Who the hell's this Ellie Pugh?
3 words. Never mind, Dean.
Yeah, it was in a different league, wasn't it?
That was quite cool.
That was brilliant. I'd go for that one. I love it. No disrespect to the one that came before. That was brilliant.
The CGI particularly.
Wait, don't we have to put it to an audience vote?
Yeah. No, we're putting it to an audience poll. So, is there something official we can do? There's something
There we go.
we can.
Yeah, look. Which movie is better? Is it Dean's or is it Greg's? You can
vote at 7sharp.co.nz. You can vote on our Facebook page for free, or you can send us a text. We'll have those details in 8875.
Are you all right to stick around for the next break as well, or are you going to run? And you and your
Stick
ears.
around.
You and your ears going to stick around?
Stick around.
Ooh. Right, look at that, spontaneous. OK, well, after the break, he's tame by name, but he's not tame by nature. We're in York to hear about the big story in the US. You'll know the one Jack Tame is with us very shortly. And then this bloke...
Well, she's probably a bit of a wild animal, really.
Oddly, he's talking about his nana. Why will come very clear very soon. And a new series, Whatever Happened To? This bloke went from blam, blam, blam to sell, sell, sell. Karl.
Well, welcome back. Look, at the end of last month, we met 85-year-old Shirley Fall. She races a rally car and really loves it. Boom.
Oh, I take the first run a bit cautiously and then get faster as the day goes on.
Yeah, it was all right. But while Shirley loves her Toyota, a Lamborghini is what she really wanted to drive. So, cut a long story short, I got an email. We headed to Hampton Downs, and Shirley, well, she did this. Take a look. Sticking with the Toyota theme, Shirley and her grandson arrived at Hampton Downs, and our Shirley, well, she was like a kid in a candy store, an 85-year-old kid and a supercar-filled candy store. G'day, Shirley.
Oh, hi.
What do you reckon?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Aren't they beautiful?
Yes.
Bit different to the Corolla, though, eh?
Yes.
Never let it be said I'm not observant. Jamie Potter is in charge of all the European horsepower, a couple of Lamborghinis, an Aston Martin, oh, and look, a Ferrari. And he talks Shirley through the finer points of Lambo Land.
Now, this is Freeman Supercars' big granddaddy, I guess you'd call it. We did the land speed record in this car last October.
Really?
So we had this up
fast?
383 kilometres an hour.
Oh, goodness.
So reasonably quickly.
Yes.
For you petrol heads, it's a V10 twin-turbo four-wheel drive. In layman's terms, if you want, you can take off quick enough to put your eyes a little bit closer to the back of your head. You know an engine's special, and it has its own window. She's not your normal nana, 85 years old and doing this. What's she like as a nana?
Well, she's probably a bit of a wild animal, really. You know, you can only cage so much.
Given that, a suitably dramatic build-up seemed entirely appropriate. Actually, on the subject of cages, this black missile has a roll cage. Safe, but a bugger if you're trying to get in the car at 85. Or not. How's the nerves, Shirley? You all right?
Yeah, I think so.
You going to be able to handle this beast, do you think?
I'll do my best.
Put your foot on the brake and then just turn the key and hold the key until it starts.
Ooh.
There you go. Put harder still. That's good.
After a bit of a bunny hop start, Shirley was off. Then, with the racetrack and supercar to herself, did what any self-respecting petrol head would do. Boom.
That's it. Looking for the apex cone. That's good. Smooth acceleration like you are. That's good. And now you pretty much want to aim straight up the middle and go to the left-hand side. Get it go around your side. Slow, that's perfect. Well done. Down this right-hand side. Baby, it's in your nature. Just let me liberate you. You don't need no papers.
Oh, that was terrific.
Tell me all about it. Was that as cool as it looked and sounded?
Goodness, it's not a car for road traffic.
You've wanted to do this a long, long time. 85 years old, you get to drive in a Lamborghini. How would you sum it up?
Well, it's a dream come true.
And you can't ask for much more than that. We can, actually. I had a bit of a car dream myself, but in a word, mine was more subtle.
I like the way you crept away from the start line there, Greg. How fast did you go?
180. Big thanks to Jamie from Freeman X Supercars. They were very cool, let us all have a drive, and they were very, very nice people, so a lot of fun. Actually, you were saying before, you've been on that track and had a bit of a hoon round as well.
I have been. I wouldn't classify it as a hoon, but yes, I have been on that track.
Geez, you must have a nice car with all that Star Trek money, Karl.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, come on.
You're not willing to say what you drive?
No, because I'm actually in line to do some real product placements.
All right.
If I name my brand now, then it might limit what I can advertise.
We don't want to ruin any deals. You were mentioning before that you live just up the road here in Auckland.
Mm-hmm.
You also have a couple of sons. I think we've got sons the same age.
Yeah.
The youngest one is called Indiana.
That's correct.
Yes, because you're obsessed with Indiana Jones.
Well, no, actually, I'm going to stop you there. I got to name my first son, Hunter. God bless. And the second son was really my wife's choice, and we were sitting watching Raiders of the Lost Ark one day, and there's that famous scene where Marion gets abducted, and she's like, Indy, Indy. And then she just looked at me and went, that's it, that's the name. So my son's named after a famous...
I'm assuming Hunter after Mr. Thompson?
Pardon?
A Hunter after S. Thompson?
No,
Really?
you'd be assuming incorrectly there. No, he's named after the constellation Orion.
Nice.
And are your boys into Indiana Jones?
Yeah, sort of.
All young boys are, sure.
All. I mean, they're into all sorts of stuff.
All right, we will crack on shortly. Now, a week ago, Ariel Castro was virtually unknown. He's known now for all the wrong reasons. 3 women were held captive for about 10 years by him. He appeared in court today. We spoke to Jack Tamer a short time ago in New York and asked him if the whole case had been one of triumph or tragedy.
Well, it's really hard to say, isn't it? I mean, obviously, in Ohio, people are pretty happy. 4 days on, they're still celebrating in the streets. But, Greg, you really have to just try and imagine the sort of pressures these women are under after 10 years completely hidden away from the world. They now have a nation's media on their doorsteps. There are all sorts of pressures for exclusive, glossy magazine interviews. You can only imagine the sort of psychological impact just from having that sort of media attention, let alone all the things they've been through over the last 10 years. Certainly, the detail coming out of the courtrooms in Ohio is abhorrent, to say the least.
Yeah, if there's one triumph that has come out of this, Jack, it's the neighbour who's become a complete overnight sensation.
It's bizarre, isn't it? For all the horror of the details surrounding the women's captivity, Charles Ramsey, the neighbour who actually helped free them, has become a bit of an overnight celebrity. You might remember when he freed the women, he was actually eating his McDonald's. It was a detail he went to extreme lengths to remind every cable news interviewer that he encountered. And shortly afterwards, McDonald's actually ended up tweeting Charles Ramsey saying, "We salute the courage of Ohio's kidnapped victims. We respect their privacy, but way to go, Charles Ramsey. We'll be in touch." After that, as he continued doing interviews, the pressure mounted. There are now calls that suggestions that Charles Ramsey might be given his own television program. And even worse, there are remixes of some of his interviews circling the internet. Have a listen to this.
I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran to a black man's arms. Dad gave away. Dad gave away. My neighbor got big testicles because we see this dude every day. We eat ribs with this dude. But we didn't have the clue if that girl was in that house. She said, "Please help me get out."
I prefer his earlier albums myself. From the birth of a celebrity to How to Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee, the author, one-time author, one book, quite a good one, has sued her former agent. Who knew she was even still alive?
That's it. 1961, To Kill a Mockingbird was published. Since then, Harper Lee has published no novels. She's done a couple of essays in a few magazines, but she's barely ever seen in public. She does no interviews, and all the honorary degrees she's ever received, she's never even made a speech. But at 87 years old, after suffering a stroke, she's in assisted living. She's filed papers in a Manhattan court this week, Greg, claiming the son-in-law of her former literary agent conned her out of the copyright to Kill a Mockingbird. Keep in mind, To Kill a Mockingbird has sold some 30 million copies. So at 87 years old, she's getting her Atticus Finch on herself.
And it's Jack Tame in New York. Time for us to go to a break, but we're going to keep chatting to old Karl Urban during the break, so go to 7sharp.co.nz if you want to see us talking to him. And after that break, my wrap of the week's news, plus this.
As a real estate agent, do you get groupies?
No.
Dean asks the tough questions of a musical legend. You just have to guess who he is.
Welcome back. It's been a funny week, hasn't it, in which some people appear to have forgotten who they are, among other things. Here's Jessie.
Another busy week for the government. On the bright side, unemployment is down. On the other hand, the number's about to go up again by 1. Poor old Aaron Gilmore. Life's got a lot more complicated since the good old days when he was singing for the Feelers. It was those damn text messages. Aaron, you need to get Snapchat, mate. That's the one where the messages disappear before you've even had a decent look at them. It was a mushroom. Finally, this week, while Wellington might be dying, the race for the Auckland Mayoralty is very much alive. So far, come October, Jaffers will be choosing between Len Brown, some American guy, and Jules Top. Or is it Linda? It's going to be a close race anyway. That's all right.
Naughty.
And you know, one
Jessie.
thing I didn't even ask, mention in that week wrap, was Georgie Pie is coming back. Any special feelings for Georgie Pie, Karl Urban?
Not particularly, no.
Nah. What about Wellington?
Good job.
John Key, our Prime Minister this week, said that Wellington is dying.
I think that's a hell of a statement. I bet he's regretting those words right about now.
You would have had some good times when you were filming Lord of the Rings down there.
I did, but I grew up in Wellington. I mean, Wellington's a beautiful city. It's vibrant, fun, and knows how to make a great coffee down there.
And hey, one more. Have you ever used the line, "Do you know who I am?" That's what the MP got in trouble for this week.
No, but I tell you what, how did these people get in Parliament? Who did you vote for him?
Dartboard and some names.
No, I heard an opinion on the radio this morning that said that unfortunately, this is the calibre of parliamentary candidates that, attract these days, unfortunately.
It's embarrassing, isn't it? Between this guy, the guy who got busted doing internet porn in the hotel room. I mean, it's a bit cringy.
Shane Jones has done his time. It's all right.
Let's go back to our movie, our 8-hour movie. Whose movie made in 8 hours? I guess 1 minute was best. You voted.
We kind of knew it, didn't we?
You did okay, though. 39%, 61 EPs.
We've got production values in Dean's, I thought.
Dean Butler's toast, all right. Hey, time for a new segment now on the show. Where are they now? In 1981, Tim Mann had a huge hit called There Is No Depression in New Zealand. Dean Butler went to find out where he is now.
Tim Mann was the bass player for Blam 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 when they topped the charts with this mega hit. Nowadays, he's topping the charts in a different field.
I came to real estate, which I love, because I really love people. The music industry is probably one of the hardest businesses in the world. Commission-only real estate's pretty hard too.
Have you used any of the song lyrics in your housing ads?
I have been tempted to use There Is No Depression, but no.
Perhaps we can arrange something.
As a real estate agent, do you get groupies?
No.
Tim started playing bass after getting lessons from Bones Hillman of the Swingers.
I used to go in his place every Thursday lunchtime with a dozen Lion Red, and we'd listen to The Who live at Leeds and try and work it out.
Pass me a cigarette, pass me a luxury lane.
Audiences at the time often jumped onto the stage, but Blam 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 had an answer to this.
One time in Wellington where we actually rushed the audience, we behaved like President Bush for a second and attacked the audience because they were going to attack us.
Tim still keeps in touch with his old bandmates, Mark Bell and Don McGlashan.
We're still very good friends. I mean, Mark is a champion sailor, and Don is Don McGlashan.
The Blams played gigs with many of New Zealand's great bands.
There was Toy Love. I remember giving the Gordons their first gig at the Hillsborough as our support act. They only had 4 songs and they played them 5 times.
He's gotta be guilty.
Blam 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 also courted controversy.
We also had a song called Thomas is Guilty. There's a detective in our backyard. He's in it with a spade and he's acting strange. Guess what? It's still relevant. We changed it to Gotta Be Guilty because we were a little bit
terrified. The Blams left a large footprint on New Zealand music, but they weren't together that long.
The Blam 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 were only together for 2 years.
2 years, was that it?
That was it.
Yes, sadly Tim was badly injured in an accident which signalled the end of Blam Blam Blam, but he's still in love with music.
I'm really keen on some of the Thomas the Tank Engine songs as well.
And yes, he is still playing.
We have a fun band called the Soul Agents, and over the past 2 years we've raised over $40,000 for Starship Hospital. Mark Bell from Blams comes and plays with us, and it's absolutely marvellous.
And as Tim proves, you can take the boy out of rock and roll, but you can't take the rock and roll out of the boy. Love those shoes.
Who'd have thought? Hey, thank you, Karl O'Ban, for coming in.
Thank you again, Karl O'Ban.
5-minute interview turned into a whole show. Good for you.
Thank you very much for having me, and I'd just like to take this opportunity to wish my mum a happy Mother's Day, and for the rest of New Zealand, have a happy day, you mothers.
Oh,
see you Monday,
isn't he? Makes it look easy.
That's great.